I can't avenge my partner's death with this pea shooter.
I don't want to hear it, McBaine.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the most incredible hidden details and Easter eggs on The Simpsons.
I'm seeing double here. 4 Crustys.
Number 20, failed animated shows on gravestones. In the early 90s, rival networks, hoping to cash in on the massive success of The Simpsons, tried to find their own primetime animated hits. Unfortunately, Fish Police, Capital Critters, and Family Dog all quickly flamed out and are basically only remembered for their failure.
Well, you can't win them all.
If you were paying attention to this Halloween episode, you might have noticed them referenced on a trio of, appropriately, gravestones. Though this might seem like the show gloating about the failure of its competition, it can also be read as giving them a tribute and keeping their names alive. Number 19, Rashomon reference. Akira Kurosawa's Rashomon is one of the most influential films of the 20th century.
Hi. さようでございます。あの死骸を最初に見つけたのは
Telling the story of a violent crime from numerous perspectives, it showed the dramatic power of shifting POV. It also inspired a wonderfully subtle Simpsons joke. Trying to cheer up a grumbling Homer about the family's trip to Japan, Marge reminds him of his appreciation for the film. But Homer, of course, has a different memory.
You like Rashan?
That's not how I remember it.
Even if you've seen Kurosawa's masterpiece, it's a joke so well timed, it can escape notice. More than anything, we want to see an episode solely about Homer watching Rashomon. Number 18, Flanders Cider Mill Season Pass number. If there's a Simpsons character who would have a season pass to a historic cider mill, it would be Ned Flanders.
How long have you been here?
20 of the suckiest minutes of my life.
Oh, sucking down the cider, huh?
So, naturally, he proudly shows this to a disinterested Homer when he runs into him at the mill.
Pays for itself after the 16th visit.
It's a funny premise that's enhanced further if you notice the number on his pass. Number 1. This means Flanders was the first and possibly only person to get a pass. We're also not ruling out the possibility that the season pass wouldn't exist without Flanders requesting it. Depending on the cost, it might be worth the money.
And of course, in Canada, the whole thing's flip-flop. Oh my, I better get you some cider.
Number 17, grad school abbreviation. Airing on network television means The Simpsons can't get away with using certain words they can on cable.
Kids, won't you step outside for a second?
Dear Lord, that's the loudest profanity I've ever heard.
But that doesn't mean they haven't slipped some 4-letter words past the censors. One famous example is the storefront sign reading Sneed's Feed and Seed, formerly Chuck's. Another is from this episode, which includes a flashback showing how Apu came to Springfield as a graduate student at the Springfield Heights Institute of Technology. Or, yeah, we'll let you fill in the rest. A decade later, the comedy film Accepted would use the same abbreviation for a fake college name. Coincidence? Plagiarism? Tribute?
Welcome to South Armand Institute of Technology.
Number 16, shifting President's Day apostrophe. If you're a stickler for proper punctuation, you might have noticed this right away. But for the rest of us, we weren't nearly as quick. Though this episode starts and revolves around Valentine's Day, it ends with a President's Day pageant. And in 3 different instances of the holiday appearing in text on screen, it's punctuated 3 different ways. First as plural possessive, then as singular possessive, and finally as just plural. It's the kind of background joke that only exists to drive a certain narrow demographic mad, and we love it.
This orange drink is the only way to recoup our terrible losses from fire drill follies. I just don't know what went wrong.
You opened the show with a fire drill, and everyone cleared out.
So Mother was right. It was my fault.
Also, in case you're wondering, the first one is correct. Number 15, Principal Skinner's POW number. Lovers of classic literature and/or musical theater likely delighted in this tribute.
Is there another way to go?
At a swap meet, Principal Seymour Skinner comes across a helmet he was made to wear as a prisoner of war during the Vietnam War.
I wore this for 2 years in a Viet Cong internment center. Never thought I'd see the old girl again.
The number 24601 is no afterthought, as this is the prisoner number of Jean Valjean, a long-suffering protagonist of Les Miserables, originated by master writer Victor Hugo. Skinner, meanwhile, takes being reunited with this source of likely trauma in nostalgic stride.
Oh, we're on that.
It is. It really, really is.
Idea for a future episode? Les Mis with Skinner as Jean Valjean and Superintendent Chalmers as Javert. Number 14, Just Marge. One continuous thread on the show is Marge's sister Selma's string of short-lived marriages. In this classic Season 7 episode, she ties the knot with has-been movie star Troy McClure for what she doesn't realize is merely a publicity stunt.
This is the best day of my life.
It's a good day for me too, baby.
She might have realized something was amiss sooner if she had taken a look at what was printed on her new hubby's vehicle. Following their nuptials, the rear window of Troy's DeLorean reads not just married, but just Marge. In an episode jam-packed with incredible quotes and moments,
I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
a cutting visual moment like this can be easy to miss, but knowing it's there now gives us more to appreciate. Number 13, Kuddler. In this celebrity-packed show, Bart and Lisa help Crustys stage a comeback special following his show's cancellation. Among them is Bette Midler, whose anti-littering stance is taken to a hilarious extreme.
You pigs!
Oh no, Bette Midler!
But we'd be remiss to not mention this subtly genius joke. Krusty mentions a thoroughbred owned by himself and the divine Miss M, a rather unflattering portmanteau of their names.
Bet and I owned a racehorse together. Kuddler.
The moniker alone is funny as is, but it becomes even funnier when you realize that they could have combined their names the other way to create a much more flattering name of Misty. But then again, Kuddler is far more memorable.
This was a great show, Krusty. You deserve an Emmy for this.
Forget it. The Academy hates me. I don't know why. Bunch of old know-nothing dinosaurs wouldn't know entertainment if it bit him in the... Hey!
Number 12, Frink Rules. Simpsons writers have a reputation as being, well, nerds.
But nerds are my mortal enemy.
And what better way to demonstrate your nerd bona fide than by sneaking them into the background of a cartoon show? In this segment from the 6th Halloween special, Homer takes an unplanned trip to the third dimension, and the show explores new realms in animation.
Man, this place looks expensive. I feel like I'm wasting a fortune just standing here.
A series of seemingly random numbers appear suspended in the air. But unless you're a mathematician or a software developer, you probably wouldn't realize that these are hexadecimal numbers, which translated to ASCII codes read Frink Rules. While we can't explain what that means, we can say we heartily agree with that statement.
This forms a three-dimensional object known as a cube or a frinkahedron in honor of its discoverer.
Number 11, Marge's distracted driving. When The Simpsons shifted to HD in Season 20, it also underwent a new opening, one which honored the classic opening that began with Season 2, while also adding some updates. Marge's parking her car in the garage previously sent Homer running scared. But this time around, she runs right into him, sending him crashing through the door. Is she deliberately trying to torment her beloved husband? No, because if you pause, you'll see she's actually looking at her smartphone. That's not an excuse, of course, but we don't know how canon these openings actually are. Remember, eyes on the road / garage. Number 10, Stealth Signature. Simpsons creator Matt Groening's name doesn't just appear in the show's credits. It also pops up when one of his most famous characters is on screen. Well, sort of. The combination of Homer's hair and ear creates an M and a G shape, like the initials of his creator. The show has directly referenced this.
And for some reason, my hair and ear form an M and a G.
But with a character design as iconic as Homer's, knowing this isn't some kind of unwelcome distraction. Instead, it's a great reminder of how an artist can cleverly put their stamp on their work, one letter hidden in plain sight at a time.
Matt Groening? What's he doing in a museum? He can barely draw.
No!
Oh no! I'm being erased!
Move it, bub. We got an installation to installate.
Number 9. Where's Waldo? How did we pass time on long car trips before smartphones and tablets? Well, trying to find Waldo, or Wally as he's known outside North America, in the crowded illustrations of his eponymous books.
Find Waldo yet again. Man, he's just not trying anymore.
When the whole town squeezes into the Flanders family bomb shelter to avoid an oncoming comet, things soon get overwhelming.
I can't get the door closed. Somebody's gonna have to get out.
I get out, but I don't know where I am.
Look at the initial shot of everyone packed in, and you'll see a familiar face, wearing glasses, a red and white striped shirt, and knit cap. And true to his character, he has a big smile. We can't say we'd be feeling the same way under those circumstances. Number 8. Vintage Otto and Marge. One of the best things about The Simpsons is its rich array of unforgettable characters, from the main family to all kinds of supporting figures.
Otto, you can't just sit there watching TV all day.
You know, you're right. I should do a little reading. You got any of those Where's Waldo books?
No.
How about anything written from the vampire's point of view?
While Marge and lovable metalhead bus driver Otto don't share a ton of scenes together, this bit of background design features them in a rather ingenious way. On the wall of the Springfield Historical Society, Lisa and curator Hollis Hurlbut walk past a painting of a man driving a cart full of children, and a silhouette of a woman with a rather lengthy beehive. To use some words coined by this very episode, this edition embiggened in already cromulent installments.
Embiggens? I never heard that word before I moved to Springfield.
I don't know why. It's a perfectly cromulent word.
Number 7. Devilish Jersey Numbers. Like their father and late mother, Rod and Todd Flanders do their best to be as pious as they possibly can. That said, they can inadvertently find themselves being accidentally unwholesome.
Thank you, but we're not allowed. Aw, it's okay. There's no sugar in pixie sticks. Trust me. Okay. Don't hug it all, smelly head. Go to hell, sick face.
Playing for a Pee-wee football team initially coached by their father, before Homer takes the reins, the Flanders brothers' jersey numbers are 66 and 6. The connotations of this don't register until they're standing next to each other. But it's such a quick shot that, as with numerous other moments on this list, it's not going to be noticed unless you're really paying attention.
Okay now, everyone. Give me 5 laps and hit the shower. Oh, Rod, you don't have to. You're cut.
Number 6. Willie's Pool Table. Groundskeeper Willie is one of those Springfield residents we'd love to get a full backstory about, especially with fascinating breadcrumbs like this. In Season 10, we learn the Scot was conceived, born, and educated on a pool table of a tavern owned by his parents.
So you're back, son?
Aye.
I suppose you'll be leaving soon.
Aye.
7 seasons later, we flash back to his birth. And lo and behold, the unibrowed newborn Willie and his mother are on a pool table.
You'll never amount to anything. You were born in trash, and you'll be lucky if you grow up to be garbage.
Would you like to cut the cord?
Let him cut it himself. It's time he learned life ain't one big party.
What could have been just an amusing throwaway line is given a worthy payoff years later. Though we also can't help but wonder what kind of education Willie received on said table. Number 5. Not-so-secret guest stars. Name a famous actor or musician and there's a good chance they've appeared on The Simpsons. However, 2 famous figures who appeared on the show in its early years did so pseudonymously.
Howdy, I am a Texas cowboy. The year is 1830. You young'uns ask me any questions you like.
Dustin Hoffman voiced Lisa's dedicated substitute teacher, Mr. Bergstrom, under the name Samitic, while Michael Jackson played a man who's claiming to be the king of pop, using the moniker John J. Smith.
You say your name was?
Michael Jackson.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, have you heard of MTV?
Nope.
Motown.
No.
Beat It.
You beat it.
This preceded a policy in which guest stars would have to be clearly identified, but no alternative names could hide these unmistakable voices. This is cheekily referenced to when Lisa returns from seeing the Itchy and Scratchy movie and talks about the uncredited cameos of the two stars, who she easily identified.
And you wouldn't believe the celebrities who did cameos. Dustin Hoffman, Michael Jackson. Of course, they didn't use their real names, but you could tell it was them.
Number 4. Homer and Krusty's uncanny resemblance. Even casual fans of the show have undoubtedly picked up on how much Bart's TV idol Krusty the Clown looks like his father, albeit with makeup, green hair, and a red nose.
Well, Velocity Boy. I'm gonna give you the biggest ticket you... Hey, Krusty!
I'm not Krusty.
Oh, to think I was gonna give you a ticket.
In a series full of distinct character designs, why have a significant supporting character who looks so much like one of the main family members? Well, the initial plan was for Krusty to be Homer's alter ego, with the cruel irony being that Bart doesn't realize the clown he idolizes is the father he doesn't.
Dad, you can't just go around pretending to be Krusty. It's sacrilege. He's a one and only. I mean, he invented the pie fight, the pratfall, and the seltzer bottle, as far as I know.
This didn't happen, and both characters were able to develop on their own, but their resemblance remained and was used to great effect in the classic Season 6 episode, Homie the Clown.
Good one, Krusty!
Oh, crap.
Number 3. God's Five Fingers. Though not a regular character on the show, the creator of the universe has made some memorable appearances, usually with his face obscured and 5 fingers on each hand.
Good.
Thou hast forsaken my church.
Well, kind of, but...
But what?
Why is that notable? Well, characters on The Simpsons tend to have only 4 fingers, much like other animated characters, but God is afforded the full 5. And the same also goes for his toes. This is a great way for the show to emphasize divinity without being too in your face about it. The show doesn't claim to have all the answers regarding religion, but we appreciate this charming bit of character design.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to appear in a tortilla in Mexico.
Number 2. Scanning Maggie. You can't put a price on the joy of raising a baby, but there are lots of other costs that factor in, as any parent can tell you. When Maggie is scanned at the supermarket during the initial run of opening credits, she rings up for $847.63. This was the show doing its research, as that was reportedly the average monthly cost to care for an infant in the US at the time. Now, the show premiered in 1989, so that number is likely far, far higher now. However, the revamped credits didn't adjust for inflation. Instead, the cost of the groceries is doubled with the addition of the youngest Simpson.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Hidden McBaine Movie. Long before the release of the Simpsons movie, there was a movie hidden in plain sight on the show. McBaine is a movie action hero played by muscle-bound star Rainier Wolfcastle, and clips from his high-octane first outing are shown throughout various episodes.
I don't want to hear it, McBaine! You're out of here!
That makes 2 of us.
But their sporadic and out-of-order appearances made it tricky to realize they could be connected to create a cohesive storyline, in which McBaine goes after a drug kingpin politician, avenges his partner, and fires plenty of bullets along the way.
Nice to see you.
McBaine!
The show could have just had the scenes appear in chronological order, but we appreciate this approach. We just wish we could have seen the full-length version of this undeniably exciting actioner.
Meeting adjourned.
$250 for this?
What hidden Simpsons details have you caught? Let us know in the comments.
He certainly broke up that meeting.
Right now, I'm thinking about holding another meeting in bed.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.